Caviezel would next star in the most successful independent film ever made, as well as probably the most controversial film ever made too, when he took on the lead role of Jesus Christ in Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. And as a devout Catholic, Jim Caviezel was eager to portray Jesus Christ in the film. However, he says that the day after Mel Gibson offered him the role, Mel called him back and tried to tell him not to take it because it would completely destroy his career. But Jim Caviezel told Mel Gibson that taking on this role and portraying this character was his cross to bear. Oh my God. Literally, kinda. The chaotic production of The Passion of the Christ is stuff of legend. Maybe even biblical, one would say. Jim Caviezel was subjected to numerous injuries, some of which seem to have been an act by his on-screen father. You know, God. An act of God. While filming this movie, Jim Caviezel and the assistant director were struck by lightning, and he was accidentally whipped twice, leaving a 14-inch scar on his back, in addition to his shoulder being dislocated. And Jim Caviezel got both pneumonia and hyperthermia from the 5 weeks he spent nearly naked shooting the crucifixion scene on top of a freezing cold, windy mountain. And last but not least, after production wrapped, due to the physical toll that filming took on Jim Caviezel's body, he had 2 major heart surgeries. Yet, when asked in an interview if he thought it was all worth it, Jim Caviezel smiled and said, absolutely. The Passion of the Christ opened on Ash Wednesday, February 25th, 2004, and this controversial foreign-language film took in a staggering $125.2 million in its first 5 days, tying with The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King for the highest Wednesday to Sunday opening weekend release ever. This $30 million gamble came straight from the pockets of Mel Gibson, and would go on to earn a still record-shattering $612 million worldwide. While reviews for the film were split, many people appreciated this intense vision of perhaps the most famous story ever told, while others felt that the violence was, a little bit too much, a little too distracting from the overall story. This thing was a pop cultural and religious phenomenon. Churches were taking field trips to go to see this movie. It was huge, it was everywhere. I saw it sitting on the front row. It was intense. Whoa. And Jim Caviezel's performance is absolutely astonishing. He put his heart and his soul and his spirit, and of course his body, into this performance, in a language that he doesn't even speak. And the pressure of playing a character who is a god, a lord and savior to billions, it's absolutely unimaginable. Yet Jim Caviezel pulls it off. Once again, you can feel the pain. Every nail, every whip, every thorn. But even in the scenes where he's just sitting there, like at the Last Supper, you can tell that this guy, his talents are, a gift from God. And if you don't believe in God, his performance at least makes you believe in cinema. And just when you thought this story was done, Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel have recently announced that they are reuniting for a sequel, which will be titled The Passion of the Christ Resurrection, which will be coming out, in the future sometime. Whenever they get around to doing it,